What is going on? I am back, and today we're going to be doing some PvP as the rock goddess herself, Malenia. This is something I think I might enjoy doing a bit more often, just these laid-back cosplay PvP type videos. I don't know, I think it might be enjoyable. We'll see how this one goes. Anyway, for this particular one, we're going to be doing things just a little bit differently. For one thing, you'll see I am playing on a slightly higher level character, and I mean slightly. It's only 7 points higher than what I normally play at. I probably could have went a bit higher at that point. I don't really know how the matchmaking works past 150, but this is where we're already at, so I just left it at that. This is actually the character I initially did the no death run with. For those of y'all who remember, I ended up taking that a little bit past 150, but the few extra points could definitely help us out a bit here, because I did want to have access to the Scarlet Aeonia, Malenia's incantation, and that does require 35 faith, so I did have to do that. So having a few extra points to put into my normal stats that are actually going to help us with the melee side of this build definitely helps out a bit. So we'll go over the stats. 60 vigor as usual, 20 mind gives us enough to use the incantation and still have a bit left over. 35 endurance is a nice spot, but I do like to have a little bit extra with this due to the Ash of War. It can kind of eat through your stamina and leave you vulnerable, so I do have the Viridian Amber +2 just to give me a little bit more stamina. The strength is at 16, which is the minimum requirement to one-hand the Hand of Malenia, even though I rarely one-hand it. It's just nice to have the requirement needed in case I need to. Dexterity is at 55, which is a nice spot. Plus, we have the Millicent's Prosthesis, which gives us 5 dex amongst other things. So that actually has us at 60 dex. Intelligence, I left at base. Faith at 35, as I mentioned, that's what we need to use the Scarlet Aeonia, and Arcane left at base as well. So yeah, as I was starting to mention, the Millicent's Prosthesis gives us that 5 points of dex to get me where I want to be at 60 dex, and it also does boost or raises attack power with successive attacks, which helps mainly with the waterfowl dance if we should manage to land it. Obviously, we're getting in a lot of attacks in a short period of time, so it helps a lot with that. The Swaddling Cloth, despite being underwhelming, definitely fits the whole cosplay aspect of things, dealing off of successive attacks. We're going to build down that even farther. I'll explain that in a minute. Shard of Alexander greatly boosts attack power of skills, as we all know. That should just help with the waterfowl dance, and I already mentioned why I have the Viridian Amber +2 to have that extra stamina. I actually like to have that all the time, as you guys probably noticed. Stamina is key to pretty much everything, in my opinion. Very important. Anyway, initially I was just doing the regular arena duels. I just wasn't too happy with the quality of the matches I was getting. I don't know what it is, but for whatever reason, whenever I'm playing with a character that's ranked at a higher MMR, I feel like I'm getting matched with lower ranked players, and it's just overall lower quality matches. Then when I'm playing with a brand new character that isn't even ranked yet, I'll get matched with higher level characters and we'll have much better fights. So I don't know, maybe going forward I just have to try to stay at a lower rank or something. Anyway, for this particular video, I decided to try a few matches the old-fashioned way, just going over, by the prawn shack and just luring invaders and trying to get one-on-ones that way, and it worked out pretty well for the most part. The other reason I wanted to do that anyway, you may notice in the top left corner I have Malenia's Great Rune active. I figured that would add even more to the whole cosplay thing. You might think it's cheating using a Great Rune in one-on-ones or when you're trying to get one-on-one duels or whatever, although it's technically invasions, but you'll see it didn't really work to my advantage that much anyway. I was rarely able to get the attacks in, but just having it was cool, just to add to the whole cosplay theme anyway. So yeah, for those of y'all who don't know what Malenia's Great Rune does, it's very similar, pretty much the same thing as the mechanic you have when playing Bloodborne. For those of y'all who don't play Bloodborne, it's kind of like a temporary lifesteal type thing. When you get hit, you'll see how much damage you took. Your health bar will be kind of just like a lighter red, I guess. I don't really know how to explain it, but you'll see what I mean. Anyway, you have a certain amount of time that you can get that health back by attacking or attacking anything, I guess, after getting hit and taking that damage. So you can basically recover. I'm terrible at explaining it. You'll see exactly what I mean if you haven't seen this Great Rune in action once we get into matches. Although I was, as I mentioned, rarely able to take advantage of that. I was actually afraid it would lead me to be too aggressive and then I'd get punished for it, so I didn't go crazy with it, but it does kind of work nice if you get hit and then you can get off like the waterfowl dance after. You can definitely get a lot of health back that way. Definitely can be helpful in some situations, but yeah, as I said, I was rarely able to take advantage of it. Anyway, that's enough of me rambling. Let's just get in there and I will show you what I mean. So first we'll just show that, or one example of those awful duels, and then we'll get into the real stuff. Yeah, so we got this guy here. I mean, maybe I overreacted a bit. Maybe I kind of let him get to me. But I mean, look, I'm trying to bow, and he's already doing his lightning bullshit. Like, isn't the whole point of the rank system to match people with similar ranks? Like, I don't expect it to be perfect every time by any means, but this was like the 5th one in a row that I got matched with some shit like this. And it's not just this time. It's like every time I play on a higher ranked character, 90% of the time I feel like I'm getting matched with shit. Like, I already explained this one before, but it's just, it was really annoying. He got him using reverse, which, I mean, doesn't bother me at all. It just shows he's not up with the meta. That's his own mistake, but yeah, I just wanted it over with. I wanted him dead, and I was just done with the arena duels for the day. The teabag was a bit unbecoming, but I was just fed up. Now, these fights were a lot more enjoyable. Ironically enough, the duels that technically weren't even proper duels went a lot more like proper duels. Anyway, I won't annoy you with my commentary in these. I'll just let you enjoy the action. Alright, so this is just some slightly better arena footage that I dug up. It was actually one of my higher level characters. I think this guy was around 2 something at the time. It was actually initially the Godslayer character, but I took him into New Game Plus, and in New Game Plus it became a more dex heavy Faith build, so we actually went higher on the dex than the Faith. So I think at this point we had something like 80 dex, 50 Faith, I want to say, something around there, which was kind of perfect for what we were doing. So we had the high dex and the lower Faith to be able to use the Scarlet, Aeonia, whatever it's called. So yeah, you can see there he does his. This is a mirror match we got going on, pretty cool. So I decided to do mine into his, and he was healing pretty well. We actually got to land it, so that was nice. But yeah, this footage was definitely a lot better, I want to say, than the matches I got today. Go figure, it was a character I didn't really use for PvP, so of course it was a lower MMR, but that just seems to be where I get the more fun matches. Not even necessarily at their higher level, I don't know, the matches just ended up being more fun for whatever reason. Yeah, check those out. Just a little bonus thing. I felt like throwing the clips in there. So yeah, for the talismans, it's basically the same thing, I want to say, as I showed for, you know, the fights we did before, except instead of Milliston's Prosthesis, I would have used the, what's it called? Rotten Wing Sword Insignia, because I didn't need the 5 extra dex, and the Rotten Wing gives better damage for consecutive hits. Obviously our dex is already at like 80, so there was no need for the extra 5 points in dex. So that's probably the only talisman difference. I'm pretty sure we still have the swaddling cloth going on and stuff like that. We might be still at the stamina thing going on, despite our stamina being higher than 35 here, but extra stamina never hurts. So yeah, that's about what we got going on. Anyway, you can enjoy the rest of this.